Now we are better. Okay, guys. Welcome. Let me just check. Okay, morning, Sukuran. Good afternoon to you guys. Morning to myself. So, how are you guys doing? All good, I hope. Today is the 28th of June already, ending of June. We're entering July very soon, another couple of days. Just 1, 2, 3 more days, perhaps. 2 days. And it's the Monday's Bretton webinar. It happens every Monday. So this is a Monday market outlook, just so that we could take a look at what's in store for us, especially what has happened the past 24 hours, the market condition, and also to predict the whole week ahead and get some trade ideas and trade signals as well. Okay, so then we discuss on the major events that are happening at this moment of time. So we'll go through economic data releases as well, just to make sure that we are aware of data releases that are causing volatility in the market and also opportunities. Now, as we can see on Daily FX right here, they talked about the PCE deflator thing that has got to do with inflation, and it is talking about gold prices in relation to the PCE data strengthened. So because of the PCE data, or in other words, inflation has actually gone up. So that is giving rise to the US dollar. That has actually caused gold to actually fall. So here we've got main headline talking about gold. So we want to be a little bit aware of what the traders, investors are focusing on today as well, because they are focusing on inflation, PCE deflator, data economy in the US. So that has actually gone a little bit higher than expected in a way, some positivity there. So that has actually made gold prices to fall. So that is the focus for today. We've got falling gold prices. So we want to look at whether we have opportunities for us to actually sell gold, buy a US dollar as well as USD crosses. So then we know, okay, that is what's going on outside of the chart at the moment before we actually take a look at the heat map as well. Then we have got US dollar outlook momentum. It says right here as well. I'm just reading through, looking at where the investors and traders are paying attention today, mainly because when they actually release all this kind of news, it usually reflects the movement of the market from the Asian side, especially when Asian opens as well. So that gives a bit of an idea of what goes on there, because Sydney Open, Hong Kong, and all the other earlier markets. Here, the big ones right here, they talked about retail trader age. This one is not really as of now. This is more like reading information, but we want news as of like this, especially this first one on gold. And then we can actually take a look at this one here, all June 28th right here. And then they talked about S&P 500 hits all-time high. So the way it looks, because it is actually on the low side for risk havens at this moment of time. We'll take a look at the heat map as well. This actually means that it's risk on. We've got all the stocks at all-time high as well. We've got Hang Seng Index as well, ASX. ASX is your Australian one. They're all on the high at the moment. That means most of the traders, investors are bullish, and this basically means they are on risk on. They are having more risk appetite. They may get into greedy mode and keep buying as well and stuff like that. So this is what goes on in the market as of today. Now here it says Australian dollar takes hit on new COVID lockdown, but also coincidentally, AUD is dropping, but then that's also because of USD strength. So we want to just be aware that the USD is strengthening at the moment, and it's weakening gold especially. And this is what we want to confirm later on and take a look at trend analysis on the chart. And then we pick the right pair for today as well. Okay, and let's just check. Okay, we can leave that for now for a bit, and let's take a look at just the top 10 movers right here, just to check sentiments in the market, where the traders are paying attention on. Now this is quite interesting, because usually, you know, at this time we see that New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar would actually be paid attention to, especially because of the timing. They are closing the market or in the middle of the market. Usually you've got New Zealand dollar paid attention to. But then today it's quite interesting. The attention is paid to CHF. And as you can see, CHF right here is on a sell. CHF right here is on a sell as well because it's a buying on GBP. And then NZD CHF, you've got a buy on the NZD, selling the CHF. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 top four traded today focusing on CHF, but then the market has focused on selling the CHF. So what does that actually mean? That confirms our biasness towards a risk on, basically because they are not paying attention in buying the safe havens today. So I would expect CHF on the downside, gold on the downside, JPY on the downside, because all these are safe havens. So all the rest are actually going up. So it is definitely looking like a risk on environment. People are not really afraid. They're not really fearful of certain things that are happening in the market. There's not much uncertainty or fear in the market. So they are actually putting on the buy. So mainly buying all these instruments and then leaving the safe havens out. So they are actually selling the safe havens instead, paying more attention in buying the others. Okay, so that's basically it. So that's what's going on at this moment of time. And then we have a little bit of clarity in terms of time frame, but we want to take a look at that on the chart as well, especially Euro JPY. It shows here you've got 4 dots here. CHF JPY as well looks like it's got 4 dots right here. So here it's also showing us that between the safe havens like CHF and JPY, CHF is still it's still looking like it's weaker than the JPY. So the yen is still a little bit on the upside. Also here, for example, we can see that they're selling the euro, but then they're buying the yen. So there may be something that is happening in the Asian region that is a little bit uncertain. Maybe there is something got to do with COVID and a lot of other things that could actually still encourage the Asian investors and traders to actually consider JPY as a safe haven. So it's got to do with regional as well as, different continents, different countries as well. So in this case, perhaps the investors are still paying attention to safe haven, buying the yen, mainly because of what's going on in Asia as opposed to what's going on in Europe, US, or even in the UK. Okay, so that is basically it. But we can see that the CHF is not paid attention too much on the buying, especially if it connects with the European pairs as well. So here we have got some GBP interest as well. Okay, but we've got your top 3 right there that are all has got to do with CHF. So you know now that we could actually connect CHF selling and looking at whether or not it's got a very strong long-term, medium to long-term downtrend as well, and how strong the trend is combining CHF pairs. Okay, so there may be some movement right there. Let us take a look very quickly at the volatility chart and look at which other currency is best combined with the CHF. So if we've got CHF right here, and then we click on to the 4-hour plus the daily, we can see that the CHF is best combined with the USD at this moment of time. USD CHF, also CHF JPY, not too bad. Okay, but that is the first in the list anyway in the top 10. Okay, we've got a question here. Okay, hi, Mr. Kunan. So you have plotted ABCD on, yes, we can take a look at that on the US oil, right? WTI, okay, at 4-hour time frame with the pending order entry. The entry at 74.30, which is above the 74.20. Good. Exit, yeah, 75. Yeah, let's review that in a bit. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so let's take a look now at the currency heat map as well. Okay, so currency heat map wise, we have got this going on, quite colorful in a way, but let's take a look at CHF particularly. Now, CHF, as you can see, it is actually moving towards bearishness, as we can see. It's got no, straight on dark red, but then it is looking quite bearish against against the GBP. So the GBP has got more strength against the euro as well, against the CAD, especially against the CAD, because if this red turns into dark red, it would actually be even better and clearer to show that CHF CAD is the one that we can actually pick, but not at this moment of time for the selling. Okay. The rest probably is just building up at the moment. With regards to USD, let's see, everything is quite jumbled up against the USD, but it's clearer against CHF, as you can see. So everything is clearer against GBP, against the JPY, not too bad as well. It's weak against the JPY, most of the other currency weak against the GBP, but quite reasonably strong against the CHF. So we've got CHF reasonably bearish, and then GBP, JPY reasonably picking up on the strength, picking up on the bullishness. So I just want to put a note right here, arrow up on the JPY, GBP arrow up as well, and then CHF arrow down. Okay, so this is when we are just getting a rough idea, not trend at all yet, because we have to get to the chart. Okay, and then we can take a look at things in a clearer picture. Okay, I think we've got that covered roughly outside of the chart. GBP is looking like it's picking up its strength quite well. So GBP definitely something interesting that we can take a look as well and see what's going on. If we go back to the volatility chart right here, and we go into the GBP, and then we can take a look at GBPUSD. So GBPUSD is one of it to take a look at. Okay, right. And let's very quickly take a look at today's economic calendar as well, just so that we're aware of whether or not we've got medium or especially high impact news today. As of today, like a normal Monday, it's actually quite slow, but we have got this whole stretch of US data that might get into the mainstream media and then make it big, but then it's classified as medium to long term, because I've mentioned as well the PCE data and all that were actually categorized as medium to low impact on all the economic data as of last week, which was quite tricky. But then the market moved quite a bit, and then even today's news and main news were all talking about that data that was released. So it was categorized, a bit of a trick in the market, I think, for investors and traders. Not sure why it was categorized as low to medium, and then it was actually it was impacting the market quite highly in terms of volatility instead. So yeah, we want to take a look at all these things just to be safe and aware and know exactly. It's not what you see, you get most of the time as well. That's the problem. Okay, so here I think the volatility and the movement of the market momentum will pick up starting today, maybe a bit later during the US session, especially to prepare for tomorrow. Tomorrow is a heavy data day. So we've got loads of data, especially for the yen. So that would actually be stirring the yen's momentum and volatility as well, especially they're talking about the retail trade, unemployments, and various others. Classified, categorized as medium, but I think reasonably it could actually be from medium to high impact as well in terms of its news category. Then we have got some news on the euro here, and I'm not sure why, but I've got this funny feeling they may have a bit of a technical issue in the FX Street ones, especially because these ones should actually be all either medium or some of it should actually be in red, especially high impact news. As if we look at business climate, for example, consumer confidence, especially should actually be between medium to red, or red would actually be also good. Also because we have harmonized index, they are sort of in the same type category and family of data. So we can see that starting today, maybe a bit later, to prepare for tomorrow's movement, we would actually see the yen and the euro having some movement. So we might have some opportunities combining them with other currencies. Wednesday is looking like we have got Chinese data right here, and it's got to do with manufacturing. So this here, I would think that it would move the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar. There's a lot of connection with what goes on in China, would impact Australia and New Zealand in terms of its currency, its dependence on its economy, and various other things. So, and vice versa. So whatever happened in Australia as well would actually impact China, but then we are not trading so much Chinese yen and all that kind of thing. So that's why, or Chinese stocks. So here on Wednesday, I think we would see a lot of commodity currencies as well, because this here is 30th, getting closer to the 2nd of July on oil, meeting OPEC Plus as well. So that is something we need to take a look. And then we have GBP domestic product right here, which is really important, very big. We have got all these as well tied in. So I think GBP will move on Wednesday as well, quite a lot, as much as the other ones that are categorized. So I think Australian dollar and New Zealand too. So we have got up to Wednesday, June 30th. So let me just change this one here. This week. Let's take a look at the Friday and Thursday, very heavy. So Wednesday onwards, getting heavier, quite heavy in terms of data. So a lot of volatility expected. And then comes Thursday, which is again impacting the yen, commodity currencies, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar as well. And then we've got high impact news on retail sales in Germany. And then more and more US as well, data, quite a number of them, and then Canadian ones as well. But I think we've got the most, about 50+% of the entire data are coming from the States on Thursday, especially the ISM manufacturing index needs to be paid attention as it's red, and then the governor's Bailey speech for the UK, and that would impact the pound quite a lot. So then we might want to look at gold as well, because it sort of have got some correlation with what goes on in the UK for some reason as well. And then it's got a bit of a triangle. What goes on in the UK, US especially is impacting directly with what goes on in the US, but then it's got a triangle. So you've got the UK, the US, and then gold. Okay. And Friday, July 2nd. This is the OPEC day as well. So reasonably loads of data as well for a Friday, but we've got NFP, one of the most important ones. So I think the US would be impacted quite a lot. I see the potential to look at crosses because we are expecting, looking at loads of happening with the US, with what goes on in the US data as well. So I think that is where we can actually find some opportunities as well. Okay, so let's take a look at a few pairs. We will take a look at oil, oil and gold and oil as well, but some pairs, especially with regards to JPY, GBP, and CHF first. And we look at crosses first, and then we look at these pair with the CHF because that's what's popping out today as well. And yeah, that's basically it. And we'll take a look at the oil that you have mentioned as well. So, okay, anybody else has got any requests on whichever pair that you want to take a look at, feel free, you can do that. But let's take a look at the EURUSD first, okay, just because it's the most traded one. And I've left all these drawings and selling zones, buy zones, support areas, and all that as it is. And let's take a look at this. Because of the expectation of USD going up, then I would expect euro to have much more selling pressure. Okay, this is the daily chart. Let's take a look at the, I just like taking a look at the bigger picture, bigger chart first, just to see what am I expecting here. Okay. At a glance, I think if I'm looking at, if I'm comparing right and left, using my eyes to look at this area here, it's trading at 1928 at this moment of time. It needs to go a little bit lower than 1920 area. I would like to see how it reacts to 1920 area, whether it goes lower. If it does go lower, then it may actually sort of confirm the biasness to the downside of euro, and then maybe the USD to be strong overall. Okay, so because we can see even in the monthly chart, we've got this area right here, that's your selling zone right there. So it will take this mother candle, and this one here hits a nice support area at 1.17. So you've got a couple of hundred pips right there, 200 plus pips or so. And that basically is based on this candle right here. I wouldn't take that end right there. So that is the mother candle. This is the mother candle. We'll pay attention to this mother candle right here. So we need price to actually go lower. So I think this is the mother candle we can pay attention to as well right here, because you got it's at the opening price, closing price of this mother candle, opening price of this candle right here. So I think to actually sell the Euro USD, it's probably better to wait until it goes to 1.1910. Okay, so we'll evaluate this area, 1.1910. $1.1910. Let's see. Zero. So that is there. Potential entry, sell entry for Euro 1.1910. The bigger long-term area is this, but we will try to break it up to short-term, medium-term trades as well in terms of its entries and exit. So this one here, it hits at 1.1729. Okay, 1.1735 would also be ideal, or even 1.1760, which is above the 50 psychological number. So I just want to take a look at that area, okay, as your selling zone, and then we'll break that selling zone up. This is a selling zone. I'll change the color to red. So we've got all this area right here. That's the selling zone. So price hasn't entered the selling zone right yet. So you've got this only the entry price 1.1910 first, then we move to shorter time frames. Okay, and you can break it up. Yes, sure, Alfred. We'll take a look at those GBP pairs. Okay. So now it's a little bit early at this moment of time in terms of price, because we are waiting for it to trigger potential selling price 1.1910, sorry, and then we see that there is change this to support color blue. There we are. 1850. So 1860. That's a nice place to take profit as well, I would think. Looking at the areas right here. So, okay, breaking this up based on the daily chart right here, we can see that if you're selling at 1.1910, you can actually exit at 1.1860. Okay, so that is one of the sell pending order that you can actually take a look at and maybe put it there. That's about 50 pips or so. Okay. Or the other option as well is to move a little bit less in terms of your time frame. Take a look at that. So here, if you want, instead of 1.1860, you take profit. If you want it less and take less as well, based on shorter time frame like the 4-hour chart, then you can take a look at this strong support area that is supported by these mother candles right here, and that was at 1.1891. So let's see, 1.1895 or so. I think you can actually put that as your short-term take profit. If you don't want to leave it to take profit at 1.860, then you can actually have a short-term one at 1.1895, let's say. Okay, 95. Okay, there you go. So then we take this one right here, 15 pips or so only right there. Okay, so that is potentially about 15 pips or so. So 1.1910, you can short term take profit there just in case it bounces up first and then only then it comes down, let's say. But then it's quite strong in these areas here, and it's looking quite bearish anyway with the USD picking up. So more potential to the sell side for Euro USD. So this is one short-term 15 pips take profit potential at 1.1910 entry, 1.18. I think, did I put it right? Yes, 1.1895. And as it persists, go down much more, then you can take profit at 1.1860 right there, because it's already in the selling zone. So when you are in the selling zone, you can enter at any time, but then you need your stop loss as well. If it hits your stop loss for some reason, then you re-enter again, mainly because it is within the selling zone. Okay, that's for Euro USD. Okay, so let's also take a look at the ones that we have taken a look for the GBP pairs, right? So the GBPUSD, GBPJPY, and GBPAUD as of last week, I think we take a look. So here, very interesting play of the market. It's looking like it's bearish, it's bullish, or it has found some support and push up on the 15-minute chart. Let's see the daily chart. Something is happening, and it's actually promoting a lot of strength for the GBP against the USD. So USD is picking up on its strength on the bullish side of it, but against GBP seems to be really strong. Now, here it has also sort of entered a potential buying zone. As you can see, the price right here, it's expected as well for it to potentially jump up it jumped up and it's opened its buying price exactly at this level right here of this bullish candle right here, right? So you've got an up here, got down. So this potentially would go up to the 3980 level. I'll just adjust this 3980. So your exit, no matter what you do, if you're buying your pound, you need to exit at 3970. Okay, that is promoted by this mother candle right here. So you do have a bit of a bullish thing going on at this moment of time, but also because we're on a daily chart, it's a good time frame to take a look at data as well. You want to also be careful that it might actually not reach 3970. Maybe it wants to reverse a little bit earlier at 3940 as well. Okay, so you need to, that's another area, because it's 3956 on this one here, if I take this as the resistance area. Okay, but then if it wants to come down a little bit earlier, it could as well at this area right here. See, it's very tricky. See, this area right here is the ending of a bullish candle, but this area is really close to this opening of this bearish area right here. So I want to also look at this area as a potential area of resistance at 1.3932. 1.3940, let's say 397.40. It's also possible to escape 3940, But what about 3910? Let's say here, this is 3931, right? So let's say 3930, 3931 area to this area is another 20 plus pips or so. So if you are careful and you want to exit just in case it might actually reverse, you can actually sort of buy now because it's entered the buy zone already, but it's got some challenges. So that actually means you can make about 20 pips or so. Make sure you exit at 39, let's say 3930. Okay, so 3930, make sure you exit mainly because of this candle right here. And to the candle, to the current price is at 27 pips. So you can still make on the buy side about 20 pips or so, but make sure you exit at the 3930. Okay, right. So that is for GBP USD at this moment of time. It's showing a lot of sign of bullishness. It's got no wick as well. So look at how the market reacts, because you need to remember you've got some very, very strong. My internet is not stable. Okay. And here, this is an area of resistance as well at the 1.4000 area too, but that is on the longer, medium to longer term. But as of now, I think you've got about 20 pips or so potential for the buy. Okay. We don't know whether it will proceed. If it proceeds, we'll then look at all the buying and the exiting prices later on. Okay. So this is GBP USD. Let's take a look at GBP JPY. Now, GBP JPY, we have seen it. We have looked at the bullish selling buying zone right here in blue, but that one starts at 15403. Now the price is only at 15392. I would say very close, but hasn't entered yet. I would think it's probably better if the GBP is picking up overall really strong, then you want to look at your buying price starting at 154.10. Then you exit at 154.40. So then you make about 30 pips right there. Okay. So that would probably be a little bit better. We see that the buying as well take place a little bit later with the bullish candle right here. So this one here is giving us a clue that 15430 may actually be a better price to buy, where the buyers have actually gone up. So you can make about 50 pips or so right there and exit at 154.70. For me as a conservative trader, I think I like to wait and see what goes on with GBP as a whole, and I could put a pending order at 154.30 instead of buying exactly at 154.10. For me, I prefer pending order 154.30, and then I exit at 154.70. Okay, so that would be better for me, I think. Yeah. So, but you have some reasonable number of pips there, but that is on the pending side. If you guys want to enter earlier, you can, you enter earlier, but at 154.10. Okay. All right. Hopefully that's clear on the GBP JPY. We'll now take a look at GBP AUD as well. So against the AUD, it looks like it's picking up as well. So GBP overall looks like something is actually pushing it upwards to the upside. It may be entering sort of like a bullish zone at the moment, but a little bit early, because this line right here, or where the current price is for GBP AUD, is exactly at the psychological level. So we want to wait. If we want to buy, we can start buying at 1.8330. Okay, 10 pips above the 20 psychological number, and then we can look at 8370 to actually exit. So that's about 40 pips or so. Take a little bit less than 40 pips perhaps, because we do have some falling of prices right here as well. So yeah, that is the area that you can actually buy 1.8330. Okay, and then take profit 1.8370, or better still 1.8365, just to keep it a little bit safer. Okay, and let's see. Okay, there you go. So that is for GBPAUD, okay? And then let's take a look at GBPNZD as well. Now, GBPNZD, there's just a lot of movement with lots of wicks as well. So it's not pair that I want to look at this moment of time. It's just maybe it's got lots of uncertainty as well. But again, it is quite close to GBP AUD type movement. It's exactly at a psychological level as well at 96.50. So whatever you do when you want to buy, let's say if it picks up, GBP picks up against NZD, you want to buy at 1.9660. I would think 1.9660 you can buy and then make sure you exit at 1.9690. Okay, let's see where this one here is. Yeah, 9690 would probably be ideal. Yeah, it's got some momentum, but I think with GBP and ZD, it's better to take it step by step. So the first TP or you can aim is your 9690, but your entry is 9660. So 1.9660 you enter, 1.9690 you exit, and then you wait and look at the prices a little bit later after it goes above 1.9700. I would think that later we can then plan all the movements. If it gets stronger, then we plan the more entries and more exit based on some other candles that we can actually see. But we need prices to go up a little bit more to give us more momentum first, okay, for GBP and ZD especially. All right. Okay, that's basically it. And then we'll now go on to oil. US oil. Let me just check the message again. So you've got an entry at 74.30, exit at 75.40. Okay, second 74.30, 75. Okay, that's quite a nice price gap there. Let's review it. So here on US oil, this is on the 4-hour chart. I've drawn that ABCD pattern as well, as you guys can see as of yesterday's session, Sunday session. So we need, at this moment of time, we are trading at 73.88. So you should have already exited at 73.70, right? So then your new sort of entry, if at all you are entering, should actually be at the 74.10 or so. And I think it's just too close at this moment of time. So 74.30 is actually a very good price, and it gives us time as well for us to monitor what happens when it breaks out of this box, okay, this bullish zone. So let's review this one together. 74.30. Let me change the color as well. Okay, so 74.30, right? So 74.30 right here, you buy 74.30. Then, okay, get rid of that. Okay, let's see beyond this zone, because on a weekly chart, you know, when I go to the left, I have to go quite a bit to see what goes on, right? So I'll just take a look at the monthly chart so that the view will be compressed a little bit better. So as we can see, let's make a fresh start. Okay. On the monthly, if I look at this area right here, upon breakout or at the price that you've mentioned, so 74.30 onwards, look to the left. We have got one candle right here we can pay attention to. We have got a bullish mother candle here, bullish mother candle here, a bit of bullish mother candle there as well. And another one right here, another one right here. So yes, we have the power for the buy, but let's be realistic enough to look at the bullish candle, but not the longest bullish candle, just the shortest one first, to look at how much short term we can actually trade. So here we have got this area right here is quite a significant resistance, which is at 69, okay? Because this is monthly chart, so we've got a very big gap there. Okay, 76, 79, 69, we'll leave it there, 79, 70, let's say, okay? Then here, it's red. Okay, so we got 74.30 potentially for the entry, for the buy, but 79.70 as the limit. Maybe even escape earlier at 79.65, but we're talking about a very big gap there, right? So then what we can do is go on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, take a look at that area right there. Okay, it's a new buy zone area, but see, we cannot actually look at the data so much when you are on a shorter term. So your point of reference is sort of limited. So we need to actually use the monthly chart, especially, or the weekly chart, to help you gauge where you can actually exit. So here 74.30, yes, would be an ideal buy price. I also will take a look at this area right here. There's some other candle opening right there. That's at 76.80, right? So I will mark that as well. So 76.70 is a area for you to escape as well. I'm just looking at how much we can look at shorter term sort of exit as well, okay, based on this weekly chart right here. So that is also going to change the price, 76.70. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we got one here, 76.70. Just wanted to look at whether or not we have got more earlier prices of resistance. Yeah, let's see, what about this one here? And also 72.10 before 72, before 72.20. So 72.10 is also a resistance area. I'll zoom in a little bit. So give me a second. 72.10. I'm laying out all your exit prices at the moment. Okay. So 74.30 maintains as your buy price. As soon as it goes into that 74.30 price, then it triggers your buy, and then you just buy. And then you just have to take a look at all these prices I've laid out right here. All this 76.70. 74. No, why did we do the 72.10? I think, yeah, I made a mistake. Not 72.10 here. Sorry about that. It's wrong. So what I'll do is I'll make this 74.30 as a thick blue line of support where it's your entry as well. Okay. There you go. So that should help. Or maybe even yellow, just so that it's more significant. I mean, more obvious. There you go. So 74.30, then you're looking at 74, 76, 70 as your exit, and 79.70. These are all very big gaps. But because of, let me just take a look again, based on this one here, okay, there is another area of resistance here. Just have to, so 75. Yeah, 75.40 as well, because you got 75, 50 psychological level. Okay, we've got another one resistant right here. So 74.30 and then 75.40. Okay, that's exactly done rightly, Mr. Kunan. It's very good. So your price are quite right, quite good. 74.30 you buy, 75.40 you exit. I'll change this price. 75.40. There you go. Good. So 75.40 exit, 74.30 buy, 75.40 exit, and then we've got another exit right here a bit earlier as well. 76.10. So let me just draw that line. Okay. So when you have entered the buy zone, then you can exit buy anytime basically. But from 74.30 onwards, you buy and then you exit 75.40. That's your first exit price. And you buy again, let's say, then your exit price at 76.10. Then you buy again 76 and then 76.70 you exit. Okay. So 76.10 and 76.70, that's 60 pips up there. Then if you buy again at 76.60, 76.60, then you exit at 76.70. That's, yeah, 76.60. No, that does not make sense there. But this one here does, 76.10 and 76.70. So your exit prices are 75.40, 76.10, and 76.70. Okay, your buy price is 174.30. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. Is that clear? You guys okay with the US oil? Okay, cool. Yeah, I think we've got some trades ongoing, but we just have to take a look at the UK Open first, and then it should actually be helping in us entering the market. And all right, let's see. 74.30, 75.40, 76.10, 76.70. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, on the US oil. Okay, guys, any other questions? Any other pairs before we end the session? All good so far? GBP, we've covered. US still stuck at this area, but it's in a bearish type zone at this moment of time on the US 30. We'll discuss that as well later. US Canadian dollar. Okay. UK oil we've discussed yesterday, it still is the same sort of areas that we've looked at. So 75.60 will actually be the buy price for UK oil. Okay, 75.60. It's very close to the 75.50s area at the moment. We needed to go above the 75.50 psychological level for us to buy at 75.60. Okay, all right. There you go. Any questions, guys? No more questions. We'll end the session for today, and then we'll continue on Wednesday on the midweek report, on the midweek analysis as well. Okay, all good? All right, guys, no questions. I want to say thank you and then wish you guys happy geometric pipping. And then may you guys ride the trend for this week, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much. And have a lovely week, a pipping week, a geometric pipping week as well. And for anything, just contact me directly as well. No problems. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a good week. Bye-bye.